afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting propaganda episode with me, your host, Imperial Dane, or Propagandacast episode. Though today we're going to be doing something different. People are always looking for more content from me, and I'm just always wondering, well, what should I do? But, let's try something different. Try ranking the different commanders, starting with USF, then slowly build towards, the older ones. So I'll be sort of like dividing the different commanders up into tiers, explaining why I think they're there. And there'll probably be some that'll be disagreeing, because I'll also not just be sort of going on power level purely, because I think that's just A, very one-dimensional and narrow-minded, and B, I think loses out on a lot of good design. I'll always be focusing like how is the actual overall design of the commanders, the actual fit of what they're trying to do as well, because ours, just be like heavy carry and so on, all the ones there, but trying to actually divide them into why are they good, if they are good, and so on. For example, at the bottom you got the commanders that just aren't very good, if good at all, and could easily do with a severe overhaul. Then you got the ones that are sort of kinda okay, but really could do with more. Then you got the good ones, but they're sort of few steps short of being really good. And then you got the really good ones, but all sort of looking power level, but also just the design. Are they sort of fitting a certain build? Are they actually playing into something? And they're just a loose affiliation of abilities that sort of just might work, but doesn't really lead to an overall cohesive commander. So starting out with the bottom tier, we got both armor company and we got infantry company, both of which aren't exactly very much fitting with themes or very good. We take armor commander. Okay, you got some assault engineers. That's not very tank-like now, is it? That's only some more of an infantry thing, an assault element. Then you got the elite vehicle crews. Alright, that sort of fits with it, gives some synergies, but at the same time not wildly. You got the bulldozer Sherman, you got the tank destroyer, and then you got artillery. Overall, again, while the different components in extent, say armor, at least some of them do, to an overall sort of bigger theme, it doesn't really fit. There's no real sense of tanks with this. You don't really do a lot with the tanks. You can compare with other commanders that actually give upgrades for your tanks, and this one doesn't really. The bulldozer Sherman is a nice specialist. The M10 is it's kind of stuck in a limbo, where, because the Jackson is so good, as an overall tank destroyer, I feel right now one of the issues the M36 Jackson is just overall too good. The M10 basically can't be good because, again, the M36 is too good. So for the M10 to be, it has been better or something else, and it really just also leaves the M10 in a weird spot. And then combined with the rest of the doctrine, just feels very awkward and unwieldy. It lacks an overall current sort of theme that really says tanks and direction. So it kind of ends up being bottom tier. Similarly, infantry. Let's just take a look at it. You got a mortar after, you got an artillery calling, you got a priest. Only two of the abilities in infantry company even related to infantry, and one of them is just sandbags, barbed wire. It's finding positions in mines and some light machine guns, and the rest just, we could argue, well, it's infantry support, but in terms of an actual infantry theme, it's pretty weak. And similarly, you don't actually see infantry company a lot because, it really doesn't do a lot. And that's the problem. Infantry company just doesn't do a lot. Part of it, again, is just mortar after sort of being a weak spot. I would say the American mortar after is probably the best one. But even that is obviously a bit, theoretical. And then the rest is just, artillery call-ins. It feels lacking and it feels unfocused. It's, again, could really do with a serious overhaul, some, more, again, infantry elements. This makes you go, oh, right, I'm doing stuff with infantry that actually damn well matters. I'd probably just check out the mortar after, maybe switch out some other things, make room for some bits, then maybe there could be something there, but overall it just sort of feels, again, it's just lacking. It could be something, but it's not quite there. It really needs a serious overhaul in some way. It's just not very good. Moving up a tier, we got Tactical Support Company, which is kind of like infantry, but a bit better, but at the same time, it sort of suffers from, well, tactical support. It's an incredibly vague sort of definition, and it's just loose affiliation ability. You got a half-track, you got some machine guns, you got some air support, you got the Calliope, and it's wow, what's the theme here? It's just stuff that, can sort of be stuffed in wherever. It's slightly better than infantry and armor in a sense, because they're all, they got some utility, and then it doesn't see a lot of uses. In fact, I might actually just want to move down to tier down again, though that kind of leaves the tier 3 there completely empty. But it's just, it has something going for it. You got the Calliope, which certainly has more burst, you got some good air support, you got light machines, you got the half-track, though no one ever really uses this, but again, it lacks a direction. What is tactical support, like what does it mean? And honestly, I feel like the mortar after would probably be a better fit there than it would be in infantry, for example. That feels more like, you know, tactical support. Maybe mix it together with M5 half-track tanks, like, you know, have them sort of as both like static ability and passive ability, where you can just build either from, say, you know, a certain building. I feel like that could maybe make, you know, tactical support a bit more worthwhile, but yeah, I mean, again, it just lacks an identity. Again, it's higher power level than infantry and armor, but even then, like, the overall identity of it is nah. So we find ourselves moving on to the next tier, where we find both Rifle Company and Recon Support Company, both strong companies, but they still find themselves falling a bit short. Recon Support basically suffers from, like, you know, it's airborne, but it's slightly different. Like, it's supposedly recon support, but there's not actually a lot with reconnaissance or doing a lot with set reconnaissance. It's airborne with a Greyhound and with, like, a cluster bomb call-in and some artillery, which actually gives, in some ways, actually more flexibility. But, like, again, in terms of themes, it's just basically the guy who repeats the joke but louder, and perhaps not even quite as well as the first joke. So again, it more feels like a copycat. Like, it's the Oreo. Like, you know, it's somehow more popular in a sense, but, like, I don't actually think it's better because it's just aping after, and it's not really gaining something much in its own. So it's sort of there. Again, it's powerful, but, like, thematically, it's kind of weak, and it just, again, it feels like it's trying to ape after Airborne without really doing it very well. Rifle Company, meanwhile, has a more, shall we say, direct theme. Again, it's sort of infantry again, right? Rifle, you know, again, infantry rifle. It has a good set of infantry bulletins. You got fire up, you got flamethrowers and flares. You got, again, the field defenses, and then you got some other sort of things that work with it, like the Sherman and the White Phosphorus. It's all nice, but it's still kind of lacking something actual, sort of push it a bit further ahead to make it, you know, a bit, you know, stronger. And maybe it could be some sort of bonus for the EC8 to, like, work with infantry, maybe. Like, maybe there's something there. Though, again, that's not exactly what the Americans are good work, like tank infantry cooperation, but I know maybe there's something there to look into. I don't know, but again, it's nice, but it's sort of short. Again, it's a good doctrine, but it just lacks that extra bit of spice to really push it one notch up. And then I think we also got Urban Assault. Again, it's nice, but again, it sort of has the nice assault theme. You got, like, flame Molotovs, grenade launchers, packages for the Sherman to upgrade them, ranges, cover-to-cover, Calliopes, but again, it lacks a certain something there. I feel like the Calliope feels a bit out of place. It's more like just, you know, well, we're going to add some rockets and it's going to be really cool, bro, but again, it's not quite there. Finally, we got heavy cavalry, we got mechanized, and we got airborne. Again, airborne feels, you know, again, it's a very direct doctrine. It's not one that sees a lot of uses, but still feel personally it's powerful. In particular, the paratroopers with Thompson and, you know, tactical assault is really good. The P-47 is very strong. Being able to drop in support when 1 is strong, and of course the Pathfinders are really good. Overall, solid doctrine there. Fits the idea. You know, again, there's a lot of air support. You got a lot of air-related units, and again, you got, you know, really good stuff there. Similarly, heavy cavalry. Again, in some ways mixed, but still the power level is high, and again, it sort of has some good abilities. Combined arms, again, you sort of set up for really big assaults, you know, speed, rapidity, smoke walls, really good at supporting these things. I mean, it has a certain definition, it knows where it wants to go, and it does so very well with gusto. I mean, there's a reason why it's very popular, even if most players still don't get combined arms. It is very solid. Again, definitely a tier 1 doctrine, or company, commander. And then mechanized company. Again, it has very much a clear definition. In fact, it has a lot of stuff in it because it's just been overloaded. But still, like, you know, you got tank stuff. Alright, that kind of fits with mechanized, which is sort of infantry armor corporation. You got the motorized elements like the Dodge truck and the half-track, which again further mechanizes your infantry, allowing to keep up with the tanks. You got combined arms, you got cavalry riflemen, you got the mortar. It just all fits together. Like, it is a clearly defined company commander. The only way they could make it better if they found Twisted Tootsie, took a picture on it and slapped him up as the portrait for the company commander. Like, that's the only way they could improve this commander, flat out. Otherwise, I mean, again, it just works. It is powerful and it is very clearly defined. This is a top-notch commander in that sense, both design-wise after a lot of overhauling, but also power level-wise. It is very solid. It may not, of course, be something all can use easily, but I think it is a very solid and very fun commander. So 2 thumbs up there. And that's what we sort of say covers it here. I'll probably start again with the newer commanders because certain Wehrmacht are really big ones with a lot of stuff there. So of course that'll be happening later on. So, but let me know in the comments if you like this sort of stuff there. I mean, of course, if no one likes this, I probably won't be doing more videos sort of ranking the commanders. But again, if you love it, I'll, you know, cover the rest of the commanders. And as always, please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and press that bell button. This is Imperial Links, cheers, and thank you for watching. Bye.